Welcome back once again. So in this lecture, you're gonna learn how to quickly create ad campaigns, ad sets, and ad designs. Now, when we first created our ad, we went through the guided setup. We don't have to go through the guided setup. There's a faster way. Let me show you. Let's dive in. So here we are in our wonderfully exciting Ads Manager account. So in order to create a new ad, as usual, all we need to do is go to the green button that says create and click on create, the plus there. And then we're gonna end up in the same place where we started up when we created our first ad. Now the difference is that this is kind of the long way. This is great for starting off and really getting started and getting a lot of information on the different choices. But when you start getting accustomed to creating your campaigns, ad sets, and ad designs, you're starting to become more comfortable with creating Facebook ads, well, then you can go to the right up here where it says switch to quick creation. This is going to be a little bit different because it kind of puts everything down into a simpler and quicker view. And here we can do things much faster, much more effectively. So for example, if we want to create a new campaign, we give it a campaign name and then what kind of buying type it is. We're going to go for auction. That's all we have in here. The campaign objective, for example, we're going to go for conversions. We're going to go for page likes. We already went through what this is and what it means. If we want to do an A/B test or anything, we're going to go through those later on. But basically, we can set up our ad campaign here. But if we don't want to set up our ad campaign, want to use one that we already have, we can go up here and click on Use Existing Campaign. Clicking here, we're going to get all of the different choices of the campaigns that we already created. So let's use our traffic campaign. So there we go. Now we're using this traffic campaign. Remember, this is where it's important to understand the different levels, the structure of Facebook ads, because now you know that you kind of created the top level already, the traffic, the foundation, if you will. Then going down, we can decide, do we want to create a new ad set or do we want to use an existing ad set? If we use an existing, we click here, we can select that one, but we can also create a new ad set. If I click on create new ad set right here and I give this one a name, let's say that we know that we're going to target, I don't know, Canada. We're going to target people between 18 and 40, and we're going to target men, for example. Remember, we can change this later on, but then I'm just going to name it like this. Or if starting off, you maybe just want to name it test, and then you can name it as you do your targeting. Doesn't matter. And then scrolling down, we can either skip creating the ad, meaning we can do that later, or we can actually connect other ads to it. We do that. And then we can skip creating the ad, or we can decide to create the ad right now, right? We can also decide to create the ad later on. So for now, we're going to create a new ad as well. I'm going to select that one and we're just going to give it a name. I'm just going to call it test for now, just like that. And then click on save to draft. So you are going to be launched into the same place we've just been spending some time already. Okay, so you already understand this hierarchy and we decided to go with the campaign that we've already been using before. That's great. And here is the new stuff that we're creating, right? If I click on something else like the bracelet image one here, you can see that we're having a green layover on those two because they are new. Those are the one we're looking at creating. They aren't published, they are in creation mode. So as usual, this is the ad set level and this is the ad design level. So starting up from here, this is just like before. We give it a name, right? We're gonna set up this name as we go. Then we scroll down, we set our daily budget, start date, end date, our audience. We can use one that we already have. We can create a new one, decide on our targeting, our demographics, our detailed targeting language. We decide on our placement, the delivery. Everything is the way it was with the guided. It's just that this is much faster. And if you want to use already a campaign that you have or an ad set or ad designs, this is a much faster way to go. And it also gives you more control because, for example, if you want to create an ad that's very similar to the previous ad set, well, then all you need to do is click on that ad set right here and you can scroll down. All right, we did, let's scroll down here. All right, we only did Facebook news feed. Right, that's what I want to do for this one as well. So you just go back to this one, you would scroll down to manual placement and then you would set and make sure that there's only for the news feed in here. Very effective, right? So then you can look at the other ads that you created, the other ad set, and then just mimic it. One sec. So I just remove all of these ones. Let's see, and there we go. And now we only have the Facebook news feed. Very fast, very effective. Similarly, if we go to the ad design level in here, then it's the very same thing. You decide on what you want to use. You add in the primary text, the headline, the description, the URL. Make sure you have the pixel. You get a preview down here. And then once you're done, you have two options. You can either discard the draft. That means just remove everything that's marked green here, right? Those are drafts. Or you could go ahead and you could click on publish right here. Now, if you decide to go ahead and click on publish, we have to understand that these are drafts because we haven't set everything up properly, right? So now if we go back and we go into and collapse this one, we can see that yes, this one has been published, but this one is not published because there's an error, right? So this one is still in the draft. So what I could do to quickly just play around with it is go in here, click on edit, and then I could set it up properly and then I could have it published, right? But if I go back here, and then I head to ad sets, we can see this one is published, but this one isn't. This is still in the draft mode. So whenever I have anything in draft mode, I can also use these two buttons, which we've spoken about before. I can either decide to discard the draft, that is remove everything I just did except for what I decided to publish, or I can review and publish that one. So if I click on review and publish, I'm gonna see, oh right, this one has an error. Okay, I need to fix that error, but otherwise if there was no error, I would click on publish. But this review is great because it makes sure that we don't do any mistakes. So I'm gonna click on discard draft because I don't wanna set that one up. And this test that we created, well, I'm just gonna remove it. And in order to remove anything, all I do is that I mark it right here. And then I go up here where it says delete, click there, delete, and now it's gone, right? So you discard whenever there's draft and you delete whenever they are published. And now everything is back to normal. Now, similarly, if you want to create something new very quickly without actually going through that, you can also duplicate something. So let's say that you want to do another ad set that is already connected to this campaign and ad set. Well, all you need to do, let's say you want to do another one of these or add in another picture. All we need to do is go ahead and click on duplicate right here. And you click on original campaign. You could do a new campaign or an existing campaign. That is, you get to choose between any other campaign, should there be any, but we're gonna use the original. We wanna have one more. We could also do 15 more if we wanted. I think that's the limit. Yep, 50 is the limit. We could do 50 more and then show existing reactions and comments and shares. Meaning if they have been interacting with your ad, we wanna keep all of those comments. We wanna keep those reactions and everything on it. Usually you do because that's social proof, right? But for now, we're just gonna do one and I click on duplicate. And now I've duplicated it and it's called bracelet image for copy. So I might want to call this, maybe if I'm gonna just stick with the same number names, image 7, and then remove the copy here. And if I'm really clever, I probably wanna call this ad design based on what the actual image is that I'm going to be using. But then I just scroll down and I set this up as usual because all of the information is the same, but I could change anything. Then I could publish it or I could discard it. If I click on discard right here, everything just disappears. No harm done. We can play around as much as we'd like. And we also have the review and publish to make sure that we don't make any mistakes. So to summarize this lecture, if you want to create something quickly, it's very easy to do. You click on create, you make sure that it is in quick creation mode, right? Not guided creation, but quick creation. We can either use existing or we can create a new one. Go from here, set it up the exact same way that we have done before, and then you have your new campaign or ad set or ad design. Super fast, super effective. Great job. See you in the next lecture.